it's a health update. So Alicia should be here any minute, so I probably should record this earlier, but I wanted to do my hair and whatever else. Anyway, so because today's gonna be a busy day, it's probably one of the last warm days that just came sporadically. We have a lot to do on the RV, so I'm going to have to vlog about my update in between instead of just focusing on that. I mean, maybe I can, we'll see, but I doubt it. But for right now, until she gets home and interrupts me, I want to talk about my health. I don't want to hold my camera. I'm gonna put this under. Hopefully I can hold it up a little. Perfect. So, I don't really know last that we spoke when it came to like details about my health. It might have been well before I even met Alicia, well before we became a couple, or well before we started traveling full time. So I'm just gonna go with the time that, like all that, when we started traveling full time, I met her, started dating, kind of in that area. So we'll just say around 8 months ago, and so on. My health has been great. It's my teeth have not been great. Just want to let you know. I feel like I don't want to smile because I'm missing teeth, and I'm going to the dentist, and I'm going to get some implants. There's a whole thing. But my teeth are falling out my face, and they're like, you used to throw up, so because of that your teeth basically are falling out your head. And then I have bad teeth to begin with. Having a good diet that helps, but it's kind of too late. So I guess that is a health update on its own. I will be seeing a dentist this Friday when I go back to Minnesota. Anyway, my health has been essentially great. I still infuse 3 times a week. I do everything myself. I see the doctors 6 to 8 months. That is their rule per doctor, being that I'm so healthy. Some of them are like 3 months, but I think it's 6 months, and I think there's like one that's like 8 months, but I think it's more closer to 6 months. And it's just an update. When we speak on the phone during COVID or face-to-face, which I haven't seen any yet, it's more of like, all right, so how's everything been going? Meds are good? All right, sounds good. Well, I'll see you or speak to you another 6 months. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. Cool. Now, before I started traveling in those last like couple months, while I was packing up, I had, some health issues. I was still having bad days and good days and worse days, but I was like to a point where I couldn't remember the last time I had a bad day. It just kept switching because I was just so used to saying, yep, for 7 days last week I was sick, and then I had 1 good day, and then I was bad for 3 days, and then I had 2 good days or an hour. It's not like that. So for me, I can't even tell you, like, on Thursday for 4 days I was sick, and then this and that, because I'm so healthy now that I don't have any recollection of when I had a bad day. Because of that, that's when I felt more comfortable about moving out and going back my own, being that I am nearly 40 years old. I'd never planned on staying at my father's home for good. And then I also felt comfortable doing more traveling. I did not feel comfortable doing trails the way I did. I was more comfortable just starting some trails, doing outdoor stuff. And I knew Alicia was the exact opposite. She wants to spend every waking moment outside. She doesn't like being out indoors. She doesn't like watching TV. Now that she's with me, she does all that more, especially in the last couple months because of our change of events. But going out with her, she pushes me, and sometimes too much. But I didn't like it, but I'm used to it, and I'm good with it, because it was like the one day I did like 7 miles. I went to like 3 different locations, and in total it was like 7 miles. I was like, what? And then there was another day, it was like 5, and then it was like 2 one day, and then I went back to like another 5, and I just couldn't believe how good I was doing. And she was like, yeah, like you were complaining, but you didn't even know you had done 2 miles already, like da-da-da. So I'm happy that has changed in my life. Alicia never really knew the extent of my health, and it really kind of sucked, because I was hoping, it sounds bad, but I'd rather her know about my health at its worst so that she wasn't surprised or wouldn't be surprised when it happened. But instead she met me when I was healthy, and she only knew stories and watched my vlogs and heard other people in my family talk about, like, oh, you remember that day, da-da-da, you gotta remember to take your medication so that doesn't happen. At least she would only hear. And even when you hear how bad things are, you never really know how bad it is until you are part of that situation. And I really wanted to kind of get sick one day with her around so that she could understand that I am actually sick. I'm just more healthy because I am medicated really well with the correct medication, finally, after many years of going through so many medications. But it didn't happen. She's seen me wake up and have some issues, or I'd be throwing up, but they were very minimal. It was more like I call every person, everybody type of sick, of regular people sick, even though it wasn't. But it was just so minimal that I was like, this is not what I want her to see. I want her to see like more. But it never happened. And throughout the 5 months of us full-time traveling, I've had a little bit more issues, like body pain after a walk, which is normal for people, but mine just extreme pain. And I did throw up a lot, and I didn't know what it was really from. And I always feel like when I have a symptom lately, it's always been my heart, but my heart has been pretty stable. I mean, it does go up to about 125 on a regular basis, but I'm not even doing anything. I'm just sitting down, which is normally, like, or not normally, it's normal when you're sick, you know. 124 or 125 is not normal when you're just sitting down, but it is for people who have illness like POTS and stuff like that. But I don't really exceed that. I have maybe twice in 5 months, maybe. I'm sure I have. I just can't think of the days or anything. I just know that I have. But that's, to me, I'm used to just going a lot higher than that, and I haven't. But when I do get sick, it's been my blood pressure. It's either extremely low, extremely high, like hypertensive stage 2. And I think there's stage 3, and then hypercrisis or something like that. So I've had those, and, you know, basically I have my symptoms, and she's there to kind of just, oh, do you need me to cook something, or can I do anything? And I'm like, she's learned now when she asks, it's just for her to tell me that she's there for me, but she knows I'm not going to give her an answer because there's nothing she can do. Oh wow, I look white. I didn't realize how white I looked. Can I fix that? Okay, there we go. And so anyway, the health has been better. So I guess my biggest update is that 2-3 weeks ago, actually, oh, I think Alicia might be home. We'll see. And if she is, then I will definitely have to. Okay, it's not her. Throughout the past couple of months, I've had some really bad throwing up nights. I don't know why it's in the evening. I've had them during the day, but it's normally in the evening. And I'm literally throwing up from, we'll say, 7 p.m. until about 2 a.m. until I pass out. Not just normal throwing up, but throwing up like all of my body. And then while she's cleaning up, I'm throwing up on my body again. And so normally it's like the one day or the one night, and then it fades away, and then the next day I can barely move because of how tired I have become due to all the stress on my body from the night before or the day before. Like I said, that's been like a day here and there until about 3 weeks ago, where I had all my symptoms. I had sweats, I was lethargic, I didn't want to eat, I was shaky, I was having like a panic attack feeling, which I guess a lot of those are a panic attack, but it was very separate. My blood pressure was all over the place. My heart rate was in the normal range, but it was not stable. I kept having like packs, and which is like irregular heartbeats and them stopping and going too quick at times and then slowing down so drastically, which is not normal. It should be pretty stable up and a little bit down. Mine just, you know. And so anyway, I ended up throwing up profusely, and Alicia did everything she could to help me. And I think the first weekend it was like, and I'm saying weekend, I don't know if it was even a weekend, but the first weekend, first time, it was like 2 days or 3 days in a row. And then it happened, like I had like a 4-day break, and then it happened again for like another 2 days. And then I had like a week break, maybe even a little bit longer, week and a half, 2 weeks. And then I was like, told Alicia, I was like, I think this was the most recent time, I was sitting on the couch and I was like, I'm not feeling good. And she always says, oh, okay, well, like, you want me to cook something for you? And I'm like, no, I don't think it's gonna be a good night. And because of those nights have been so dramatic, and I kind of am excited that she got to experience it. I wish she experienced it earlier so she wasn't like stunned, because I've actually never been through this. These symptoms I've had, but the overall reaction, throwing up like that, I've never had, and it's terrifying. And I'm crying for her, and I'm like bad. I've never had that. When I throw up, I just throw up. I mean, like maybe a little tear because I'm burning, but like legit, I'm crying, begging for my mom type of stuff, but I'm begging for her or for Freckles. I'm like a straight up sap. I'm telling her I love her. I'm holding on to her. I am just not mean. It's disgusting. And then I get mean. Like I'll throw her hand off me, like, don't touch me. And I don't remember any of it. Like I lose all memory. She has to tell me that happens. So this particular night, she's like, I'm like, no, I think it's gonna be a bad night. And she goes, okay. And I'm like, no, I think like the other nights, so that she has a comparison. And this particular, she's like, all right, stay on this couch, do not move. And then she went to the store. I don't know why she went to the store at that time, but to find out, so basically I remember putting my head on these like little pillows right here, but I was facing this way on the couch. And I guess I blacked out from there. She told me, this is from her, that when she got home, I was laying on the couch. And then she went to the bathroom and threw up because she was sick that night too, but she puts me first. And, you know, when she throws up, she's able to get to the bathroom like I normally do. But when I'm like this sick, I just can't do anything. I might be butchering this, but if you go on my social media account, my most recent post about like this night, you'll see the details because I don't remember fully. But eventually, something happened. I ended up getting up and I went to the bathroom, and she found me that I had fallen asleep on the toilet. And she knew something happened because she kept calling for me, and I closed the door because I wanted to go poop. And she was like, it's too quiet. So she went in there, I was passed out with like my whole body leaned over, you know, and she said that she didn't wipe me. She just got me off the couch or off the toilet and flushed for me. So that was real nice to know that she had to see my poop. And then I don't remember, but something about there was a bowl or something from the throw up in on the ground, and I went to pick it up off the ground whilst on the toilet. CVS called me, and I guess I like fell to the floor, and then I just started throwing up profusely, like just everywhere. She had to keep giving me a new container, which was actually like a bread pan, because it was easy to clean. So I would throw up in there. We have two. She would put one under it with the clean one and steal out my dirty one, and I just would still be throwing up, and you know, just going and going. And I guess she tried to do something, and I was getting mean to her, and I was telling her to stop touching me or something like that. I was like really hot, and so she put ice packs on me because it makes me feel really good. And then my sweat breaks, and then, you know, you get like really hot, but like you're cold, and I'm like shivering, and I'm like, my lips were white. I guess my bottom was like white, like just snow white. And my color was eventually coming back, so I broke my sweat, and then I was throwing up. In the end, when I finally come to, because I was throwing up and sleeping on the bathroom floor, we're laughing while I'm still on the floor because I still can't move. And I'm asking her, like, what happened? she's telling me what I just told you guys, and that she went to the store to buy me ice cream, hoping that it would help me feel better, because we found this amazing ice cream, and she went all out her way just to find this ice cream so that it maybe would help me feel good. And I think a flower, I don't know, she's done flowers the first 2 times, so I'm not sure about the 3rd time. And so that's what she went out for me, and she told me the whole story, and we're laughing, and then we tried to get me in the shower, and I can't get up. Eventually I got in the shower with my clothes on. She had to take off my clothes. I did wash my body myself, but she had to re-clothe me back, and then we got myself to the bedroom, where I think I threw up 1 more time. So I've had that 3 experiences, but more than 3 days. Like, they were like group days, like 2 or 3 days at once, a break, 2 or 3 days at once, a break, or whatever. So that is the experience I had with her, and that is my health update. Outside of those, I'll just say this past month, which has been just a fucking weird thing, I've been pretty healthy. I've had some ups and downs, but they're normally like a couple of hours or something, or they'll last a full day or 2, but I'm able to still do construction. I just have to be chill and not do anything crazy. I did also have an issue where I ended up in the ER this past Sunday. So a week ago yesterday. As you guys know, I have mast cell activation syndrome, MCAS, and whenever something happens, like whenever my eye gets attacked by some sort of an allergy, it is by far one of the worst pains. I'll do knee surgery again, I'll do a hysterectomy, but when you feel like you have acid or sand or glass in your eye, it is extremely painful. So I had this issue for about a decade now before I was diagnosed with MCAS, and they're like, that's probably what's going on. And they tested it with something that I'm actually allergic to, and they're like, your eye just, it's bad. But then I ended up getting an injury to my left eye, which made it even worse. And the pain, they're like, when you ruin your cornea, you scratch it, it's already painful for most people. But when I scratched it, it's like having an open wound and putting, we'll say, alcohol to it. My open wound, and I'm allergic to all the grass and seeds and pollen and all, is in this open wound, and going in there and just eating. It feels like acid at my eye. So the pain is excruciating, and then you have to wait for and then you have the other pain that you normally would get when you get some sort of issue or trauma to your eye. So then this past Sunday or something like that, I ended up moving my hair and scratching with my fingernail, my left eye. Now both my eyes are affected, mast cell, but my left eye is the one has been fucked, and I think it's because I scratched it. So now I scratched it again. I ended up in the hospital the next morning because I took ibuprofen and it did not work, which it normally does something. I've run out of everything, and all the all the medicated stuff I would need for my eye to be decent enough for me to get through the pain and then let it heal. I ended up in the ER. They gave me some medication to help heal, and they said, do all your other eye stuff that you would normally do because you have mast cell, and hopefully it will fix itself. By the time I got out of the hospital, I still could not see. It was the next day that I was able to see, but I was still very light sensitive. I took the car to CVS to get some medicated eye drops and some other medications where I could not drive because the sun, which was barely there, was hurting both my eyes. And when your left eye you can't see out of, your right eye is working harder so that you can see clearly. So my right eye also gets affected. So Alicia's like, you know, oh, my camera's about to die. Like, why are both eyes closed? I'm like, my right eye is doing all the work. So clearly I'm better now. You guys did see my eye in the, like, I think previous video, 2 videos ago. I made a quick little clip and my eye was all fucked. Anyway, my camera's about to die, and that's really my health update so far. If you guys have any questions, comment below. If you want to see any videos, as you can see, I'm trying to get some videos out that doesn't deal with the RV, or if you want the RV, comment below, or any questions or anything like that. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm trying my best to get back into the work of things, and whether it's myself and or Alicia and I, or just vlogs, whatever, just let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!